This story is absolutely hilarious. So this story says South Carolina GOP leaders plot to boost Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary. Now, I had done a story actually about a pundit. I actually forgot his name already. I guess he's that irrelevant. And he was saying he's going to vote for Bernie Sanders. And he's a Republican, obviously. He's a Trump guy. He's a Republican. He's not a Democrat. He's not a Bernie guy. But he's going to vote for Bernie Sanders because he thinks that that's the guy who's the easiest to beat, which is really hilarious. So basically it just says here, quote, I think we can easily affect the outcome. This is going to catch on like wildfire, Greenville GOP chairman Nate Leupp told the newspaper. People have been waiting and waiting for 2020 to come along to vote for Trump, and now they can't, but they can still help Trump. Leupp also said that the plan to promote the, quote, most socialistic liberal candidate running would convince state Democrats to change the state's open primary to a closed one, so it, quotes, protects them as well as the Republican brand. So, I guess they want to change that. They're trying to manipulate the state of South Carolina, their government, and trying to manipulate the primary to turn into a closed one. But what's super hilarious about this is, if you see here, he literally uses the term most socialistic liberal candidate. Those two terms could not be further away from each other. People need to understand that liberalism is an incredibly moderate ideology, and socialism is obviously, like a pretty strong left-wing ideology. Bernie Sanders is not a socialist. He is a social democrat. He's not doesn't believe in socializing the means of production, obviously. And people are making that mistake partly because it's Bernie's fault. He didn't make that distinction, which I think was a big mistake on his part, actually. But you can't be a socialist liberal. Like, that's not how it works. You're one or the other, dude. That's like being like a fascist centrist or something like that. It's like, or a radical centrist. It's oxymoron. It doesn't make sense. You can't be both. They're not oxymoron. They are mutually exclusive. Okay, you can't be a socialist liberal. That doesn't make sense. It's one or the other. So they don't really know what the fuck they're talking about, basically. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to get they're trying to get Bernie as the nominee. And you know what I say? Do it, man. I welcome this behavior. All of the Republicans in every open primary state vote for Bernie Sanders, because you guys are idiots who think that he's somehow the easiest candidate to beat, which you don't have any, I guess you haven't done any research on. You haven't looked at the numbers, which show that he's the best. And to be fair, Biden is pretty close with him up there too. Usually they're 1 and 2 in some order, but obviously the Rust Belt he'll pick up. These are the people who are not directly Trump, so I think that they're not. I don't know if Trump is going to intervene and be like, yo, idiot, stop doing this. I'm not sure what's going to happen behind the scenes with that. But I welcome this. And so what this reminds me of is 2016. Because remember what happened in 2016? Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton actually encouraged Trump to run. They tried to get him to run. They tried to prop him up. Because they're like, oh, this is the easiest candidate to beat. All right, which in reality, that turned out to be very, very wrong. In fact, I don't know if Hillary would have gotten beaten by somebody like a Marco Rubio. Maybe, I don't know. But it didn't end up being like the easiest candidate to beat at all. And they ended up failing in trying to beat Donald Trump. So the same way that Hillary thought that she knew the easiest person to beat was Donald Trump, they're thinking it's Bernie Sanders. They're dead fucking wrong. They have no idea what they're talking about. But I welcome it, man. Everybody who's a Republican in an open primary state, vote for Bernie Sanders. Vote for the guy, because we'll take your vote, man. We will absolutely take your vote. So we will take it.